Settle down. Class. Miss Corinne's voice cut through the learning hall as her claws struck the podium with finality. The crystalline walls hummed softly, amplifying the authority in her tone. One by one, the alien students straightened in their seats, their varied forms settling into uneasy stillness. She scanned them carefully, noting the boredom written across their faces. Today's lesson, she knew, would change that. A low wave of disinterest rippled through the room. Another planetary lecture, they thought, another harmless world catalogued and tamed by the Confederation. Earth had been discussed before, always briefly, always dismissed. Humans were young, noisy, and far too emotional for most scholarly respect. Miss Corinne allowed the murmurs to grow before turning to the holoboard. With a single motion, the planet appeared. A vibrant sphere of blue and green spun gently in the air, beautiful at first glance. Clouds wrapped around continents like silk, oceans reflected soft light, and the world looked peaceful. A few students relaxed, some even amused. This was supposed to be dangerous. This, Miss Corinne said calmly, is Earth's. Several students exchanged glances. The human homeworld, one asked, unimpressed. It looks ordinary. Another let out a soft laugh, tapping their datapad. Miss Karen's lips curled faintly, not in humor, but anticipation. She tapped the display again. The beauty vanished beneath layers of data. Gravity values surged into the red. Atmospheric instability alarms flared. Seismic activity crawled across the continents like living scars. Temperature ranges stretched into lethal extremes. Earth, she said quietly, is officially classified as a death. The room fell silent, not fear, yet confusion. One student raised a clawed hand hesitantly. A death world. That designation is reserved for planets incapable of sustaining civilized life. Others nodded. Death worlds were places of chaos, extinction, and failure. Humans, however primitive, clearly had cities, technology, and interstellar travel. Miss Corinne turned toward them slowly. That, she replied, is exactly why Earth is so dangerous. She gestured, and the holoboard shifted again. Images of towering storms filled the air, cyclones larger than cities, lightning tearing across blackened skies. Data streamed beside them, showing wind speeds capable of shredding metal. Students leaned forward, eyes widening. Humans named these storms, Miss Corinne continued. They track them, study them, and when possible, they walk into them. Disbelief rippled through the class. No rational species willingly approached planetary-scale disasters. A sharp voice cut in from the back. They must evacuate entire regions, a student insisted. No species would survive otherwise. Miss Karen nodded slightly. They do evacuate, she agreed. After building their settlements directly in the storm paths, uneasy laughter broke out, then faded quickly. She switched the display again. The storms vanished, replaced by frozen wastelands. Endless white stretched beneath black skies, temperatures plunging far below survivable limits. Life support warnings flashed constantly. Some humans, Miss Curran said, choose to live here. The class shifted uncomfortably. The one student's tendrils twitched in distress. Why would they do that? Another whispered. Miss Corinne's gaze hardened. Because, she replied, they can. The holoboard transitioned again. Now it showed scorched deserts, sendless heat, sandstorms sharp enough to flay exposed flesh, temperatures that boiled surface water away. Survival probability estimates hovered near zero. Miss Corinne did not look away. And some, she added, vacation there. A shocked gasp spread through the room. Several students recoiled instinctively, tails curling tight. The idea was absurd madness, even who sought danger for pleasure. Miss Corinne let the silence stretch. Earth does not protect its inhabitants, she said. It tests them. Her voice lowered, measured, and certain. Every day. She flicked her claw again. The image changed to towering predators, massive, muscled, armed with claws, fangs, and crushing strength. A bear rose onto its hind legs, dwarfing everything around it. Data scrolled beside it, listing speed, bite force, endurance. This creature, she said, still roams free on Earth. A student stood abruptly, chairs scraping the floor. Why hasn't it been exterminated? They demanded. Any rational species would remove such a threat. Murmurs of agreement followed. Miss Corinne turned slowly. Humans chose not to. She switched the display. More predators appeared: lions, wolves, tigers, creatures built for pursuit and killing. Some hunted in packs, others stalked alone. All of them were faster, stronger, and deadlier than most Confederation citizens. They live among these beings, Miss Corinne said. They do not cage them. They do not eliminate them. They respect them. The room was utterly silent now. Fear had finally arrived. One trembling voice broke through. Do these creatures kill humans? The question hung in the air, heavy and unavoidable. Miss Corinne nodded. Yes, she said simply. Regularly. Several students recoiled. One covered their sensory organs in horror. Another leaned forward, claws digging into the desk. Deathworld statistics were abstract until now. This was different. And yet, she continued, humans do not respond with planetary purges. The holoboard shifted again. Images appeared of humans observing predators from a distance, documenting them, protecting their habitats. Laws scrolled across the screen: restrictions against hunting, penalties for disturbing ecosystems. They believe, Miss Curran said slowly, that their world is healthier with danger in it. Disbelief washed over the room. That makes no sense, someone whispered. Danger weakens societies. Miss Curran tilted her head. On most worlds, she agreed. Earth is not most worlds. She turned back to the class. Humans evolved here, she said. Every storm, every predator, every harsh season shaped them. Her eyes glowed brighter. Their planet did not forgive weakness. The holoboard now showed human skeletal structures, dense bones, thick muscle fibers, reinforced joints. Comparative overlays showed how much heavier and stronger they were than similar-sized species. The difference was alarming. Their gravity alone, Miss Curran continued, would cripple many of you. A few students swallowed hard. They remembered exchange reports off-worlders collapsing under Earth's weight. Miss Curran didn't let them look away. Humans train in this gravity, she said. They run, they fight, they play. A student raised a claw slowly. They play. Miss Curran nodded. She changed the display. Images of human sports filled the air: collisions, falls, impacts that would be fatal elsewhere. Bodies slammed into one another with bone-crushing force. Blood was visible. Pain was constant. They call this entertainment, she said, and they cheer. A shudder ran through the class. One student whispered, they enjoy suffering. Miss Curran shook her head. No, she corrected. They enjoy overcoming it. The holoboard flicked again. Now it showed humans climbing sheer cliffs with no safety lines, diving into crushing depths, leaping from great heights with only fabric slowing their fall. Mortality statistics hovered beside each activity. These are optional activities, Miss Curran said. No survival requirement, no necessity. A student stood, voice shaking. They're insane. Miss Curran met their gaze evenly. They are adapted, she replied. The images shifted once more. Now humans stood beside aliens during joint military exercises. Timers and endurance metrics displayed brutal disparities. Humans outlasted, outperformed, and recovered faster than their counterparts. In combat simulations, she said, humans consistently dominate. A murmur of unease filled the hall. One student asked, if they are so capable, why haven't they conquered us? Miss Curran smiled softly. Because Earth taught them restraint. She brought up images of humans laughing with other species, sharing food, offering aid, standing guard. They were social, expressive, strangely warm. They evolved to cooperate, she said. Survival on Earth required it. She paused, letting the images fade. But make no mistake, she added, voice firm. That cooperation ends when threatened. The holoboard displayed a final set of images. Ruined battlefields, humans standing bloodied but unbroken. Reports from conflicts where humans had been pushed too far. Earth did not make humans cruel, Miss Curran said. It made them capable. The room was silent again. Not from fear, now, but understanding. Miss Curran folded her hands behind her back. Earth is lethal, not because it kills, she concluded, but because it never stops testing. She looked at each student in turn. Humans survived, she said quietly, and that should terrify you. The bell chimed softly, ending the lesson. No one moved, because now they knew.